To thy consciousness,
joys that human heart can know, may His love on you bestow. May all dangers from your path be moved, all delusion by His truth is proved.
I'd have to say that, yes, it's true, Master needs instruments. I don't want you to think it would be a mistake. I used to say this, but it's a disservice to you to say it. That, well, I didn't have to do anything, Master did it all. It doesn't work that way. I know that I've had to put out a great deal of energy, all the strength I had to put out. But when I did, then something happened, and I found that energy coming. You will see that if you really determine to be instruments of the Masters of God, then they will give you the strength. They will always show you in one way or another, but the absolute willingness has to be there, and the other side of this has to be no thought of self. Now, mind you, it's a difficult balance, isn't it? Because you can't do anything if you don't think I'm doing it. And then how are you going to do it and not think you're doing it? It's not easy. You've got to learn that trick. In other words, you've got to use His power, His intelligence, His wisdom, His energy. That's why we practice the energization exercises. I've often said that they are really the cornerstone of Master's teaching. Because when you do the energization, you feel that energy coming in. That energy is coming in from the infinite and filling your body with an energy that you can feel. And it makes you feel great. That energy is something you have to draw by your willpower. And what is willpower? Desire plus energy directed toward fulfillment. There can't be desire without the thought of I, but an I offered up to God. You have to say, I am doing this for you, and I don't want to enter into it except to the extent that you give me that power, that you give me that understanding. It's a very tricky thing, because it's so easy to think I'm doing it. It's very important to say, yes, I'm doing it for you, but even that can become a presumption. So it has to be done with the thought that you're doing it through me for you. How do you get that one across? I've spent 54 years trying. I don't know how to say it. I know it works. That's all I can say. That if I really, and I have to say this is the truth, and I've always felt this way, I just don't matter. But I know when when I first came to his Sunday service, Bernard spoke the first Sunday, then Master spoke the next. It was 2 weeks after I met Master, which was on a Sunday. And Master said, and Walter came all the way from New York. Walter? Who was Walter? I looked around me. I saw that nobody was standing. He told me to stand up. I was looking at me. I said, okay, well, I've always felt that way, sort of, who, me? But you've got to accept, and this is what Master kept drilling into my head. You've got to accept that God wants to use you, not with your presumption, but with the thought that, okay, this is a secret. This is something that has to be done. When he put me in charge of the monks, I didn't think I wanted to organize the monks. They'd never been organized before. But I saw this needs to be done. And so I said, okay, if nobody else will do it, I will do it. And in that spirit, I did it. And many times I used to think, well, it's got to be done. And I'd wait for somebody to do it. Nobody did. So I thought, well, heaven's sake, if it's got to be done, I'll do it. And with that spirit, I've done it. Always willing and eager for somebody else to do it first. But if it didn't happen, never did I push myself forward. But I didn't see many people doing it. You know, hundreds of people must have heard Master at that lecture in Beverly Hills. Hundreds. Thousands of youths must go north, south, east, west. I am sowing these thoughts in the ether, and my word shall not die. That was a powerful lecture. I have never in my life heard such a powerful lecture. I looked around me. Everybody thought, oh yeah, nice.
I'd like to start with just a brief reading from this book, Whispers from Eternity, Master's Poems and Prayers. My Guru. I'll just read an excerpt from this. Thou light of my life, thou camest to spread wisdom's glow over the path of my soul. Centuries of darkness dissolved before the shafts of thy luminous help. As a naughty baby, I cried for my divine mother, and she came to me as my guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar. At that meeting, O my guru, a spark flew from thee, and the faggots of my God cravings, gathered through incarnations, smoldered and blazed into bliss. All my questions have been answered with thy flaming golden touch. Eternal, ever-present satisfaction has come to me through thy glory, my Guru. Thou voice of God, I found thee in response to my soul cries. Slumbers of sorrow are gone, and I am awake in bliss. It's such an important topic and an important time of Guru Purnima, where we know that our Guru has found us, he's drawn us, he's brought us back to the path, he's given us teachings, he's given us techniques, he's given us Swamiji, he's given us centers to go to, books, music, Guru Bhais, and so much love through everything that Master's given us so that we can find God. That's the purpose of the Guru. It's not to just adore the Guru and say how proud, wonderful the Guru is and have his picture up on the wall. And Master came so that we can become one with God. that wave of our consciousness of God can merge with the ocean of infinity, the ocean of God's consciousness. The master said many times, I killed Yogananda long ago. No one dwells in this temple now but God. And so, yes, the guru, he changes us. He comes to change us. He changes our old habit patterns, our desires, our attachments through the teachings, through the techniques, but mainly through the consciousness of God that's flowing through a completely liberated master, an avatar, through our guru, his consciousness. His consciousness was God's consciousness. God's consciousness was his consciousness. That consciousness flowing into us is what really makes for the change in us. And as we know, it's 25%. We put our effort out, 25%. Master, he said, I'll give you lots of my good karma so that you can get there. And then the rest is 50% is God's grace as we open ourselves through the practices, through sincerity, through dedication, through commitment, through devotion. We turn our cup up and God's power flows into us and makes a change. And Swamiji said when he first met Master, when Master touched him for the very first time, he said he didn't really feel anything outwardly. But he said, from that moment, do you know my life? And I completely changed from just that touch in his heart. And so the guru comes to change us. Master said, you won't be able to even recognize yourself. And he would say to different disciples, he said about Swamiji, look how I changed him. Look how I changed Walter. And he changed him through, yes, that power flowing through. But let's remember, Swamiji came and Master told him, I give you my unconditional love. Will you give me yours? And Swamiji, he said that he would. But Master, and to Dr. Lewis, I will love you always. I'll give you my unconditional love. And when we open to that love, when we're desirous of it, when we long for God, when we want to have God in our life, when we want the guru in our life, then he can come in. There was someone who said, Master, I don't feel you as much as the other disciples feel you. How come? And he said, if you shut the door, how can I come in? And so how is the door shut? It's shut because we don't want to do the practice. I don't want to go to the satsang. I don't want to do seva. I don't want to study. I don't want to teach or whatever it is that I don't want to, shuts the door. And Master Swamiji said with Master was like a hotel. People came in, they checked in and they checked out. They came and they went. But then Master said, those who are our own, they never leave. There was an event where Master spoke and there were 5,000 people there. And one of the disciples, I think it was Dr. Lewis, said, oh, Master, there were so many people. We'll have so many students. It'll be coming for the classes and want some particular class. And Master said, well, there were a lot of people, yes. But I bet you how many will sign up for the course or for the class is 5. And Dr. Lewis thought, that's not going to happen. How many came? 5. And so it's not a given. People hear, they like it, they like coming, they whatever, but how many people are going to stick really with Master to the end of their lifetime? How many are going to stick with the teachings to the end of your life? How many are going to keep doing kriyas till you can't breathe anymore? How many are going to keep going? And so the guru comes so that he can transform us through everything that he's given. Now, there was another man who came to Master, and he was even a teacher, and he left. And so people said, well, because people came and went, as I said. So people asked, well, what about him? Because he seemed to be such in good standing. When will he come back? And Master said, never. He'll never come back. And the words he said afterwards were shocking. He said he was never in The man was there. He was doing whatever. He was serving. But he had never opened himself up. So it's not enough to just go through the motions. Yes, I said do Kriya. Yes, I'm supposed to serve at the center. You have to really, really open yourself. That's where the 25% comes in. I want you, Master. I want you, Divine Mother. I want to change. I don't want to be the same person. I don't want to feel important. I don't want people to adore me or whatever it is. I don't want anger. I don't want depression. I don't want it. And you look around and you see everybody does want it. So it's hard to say, I don't want that life anymore. I don't. And that's what it means by opening yourself up. And there was another disciple, she was there and everything was going fine. And then she said, oh, I found another guru, because he can dematerialize his body on one mountaintop and materialize it on the other. I love what Swamiji said when he told this story. He says, I don't know if anyone ever saw him doing it, but this is the claim. There's a lot of claims out there. So what Master said was a wonderful, really important thing to remember. He says, well, that's fine, then I will withdraw my ray. Now that ray is his grace. That ray is his blessings. That ray is his consciousness. That ray is his magnetism. That ray is his energy. We need to accept that ray of blessing, of grace, of light, of Shakti, of power. That ray is what protects us. That ray is what pushes us forward on the path. We have to understand. Master told Rajasi, don't forget where your power is coming from. And we think, oh, I meditate well, or I serve well, or I teach well. Don't forget where your power is coming from. That ray is the power, is the Shakti of the Guru, is in the disciple. It is helping you to change yourself, changing quickly. And so that woman came back. Swamiji told us a story a year later, and that ray, it wasn't there. So let's not assume, sure, Master will do it all. Master will help me. Master said to he said to one monk, he was with the other monks, he said, you will have clear sailing. And all the others looked at him like, what about me? What about me? And Master said, and you all will have clear sailing if you stay in tune. Wow. What does that attunement mean? So Master said, Rajasi found God because he learned how to listen. He learned how to stay in attunement. He learned how to not just listen, but follow and do what the Guru said. Follow the teachings, do the practices, do what the Master gave, basically a formula on how to get out of here. But people don't listen. They listen to the ego. What else does that mean? The Dr. Lewis Master said these words too, never avoid me. People avoid all the time. I'm not getting up. I'm not going over there. I'm not going to do that. I'm not reading. I'm not studying. I'm not going to meditate. That's avoidance. Never avoid me. And Dr. Lewis said so many times, I wanted to avoid him. I wanted to avoid him. And finally, serving, being able to open yourself to service. This is how attunement happens. To be in tune with me, Master said, to serve my work. And the channel is blessed by what flows through it. And the wonderful thought, and I'll close with this because we have some more I want to offer you today. Wonderful thought was how Swamiji, he came across the country in America with the thought, two thoughts. I want to find God, but I also want to share. That is something. I remember I read Autobiography of a Yogi. I said, everybody should read this book. There's a desire to want to share. And when Swamiji knelt in front of Master, he said, I didn't come for what you can give me. I came for what I can give you. This is a true disciple. I came, what can I do? How can I give? Because then you get out of ego. You let go of the little self. How can I find God? Through giving to my Guru, giving to God, helping other people. And as we do, as we follow what Master gave, you find that you're just so different. Think about if you didn't have Master, if you never got on the path, you didn't have a path, you didn't have Kriya, if you didn't have the Sangha, you didn't have Swamiji's 150 books, you didn't have the music, if you didn't have anything, completely a lost life. We should be ever bowing and grateful that Master brought us again. How many times has he brought us? Again and again and again, out of the ocean of delusion to his feet to be able to find God. We're going to play now from Autobiography of a Yogi, the excerpt of Master finding his guru, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, their first meeting.
Passing an inconspicuous lane, I turned my head and surveyed the narrow length. A Christ-like man in the ochre robes of a Swami stood motionless at the end of the road. Instantly and anciently familiar he seemed. My gaze fed hungrily for a trice. Then doubt assailed me. You are confusing this wandering monk with someone known to you, I thought. Dreamer, walk on. After 10 minutes, I felt heavy numbness in my feet. As though turned to stone, they were unable to carry me further. Laboriously I turned around. My feet regained normalcy. I faced the opposite direction. Again the curious weight oppressed me. The saint is magnetically drawing me to him. With this thought, I heaped my parcels into the arms of Habu. He had been observing my erratic footwork with amazement, and now burst into laughter. "What ails you? Are you crazy?" My tumultuous emotion prevented any retort. I sped silently away. Retracing my steps as though wing-shod, I reached the narrow lane. My quick glance revealed the quiet figure, steadily gazing in my direction. A few eager steps, and I was at his feet. Gurudeva! The divine face was none other than he of my 1,000 visions. Those halcyon eyes and leonine head, with pointed beard and flowing locks, had oft peered through gloom of my nocturnal reveries, holding a promise I had not fully understood. "Oh, my own, you have come to me." My guru uttered the words again and again in Bengali, his voice tremulous with joy. "How many years I have waited for you." We entered a oneness of silence. Words seemed the rankest superfluities. Eloquence flowed in soundless chant from heart of master to disciple, with an antenna of irrefragable
Thank you, Dhyanaji. We have a few questions. The first one, Dhyanaji, is why does it seem that some people draw more of the Guru's grace than others? I mean, some seem to be soaring and others perhaps bogging down.
Honestly, I think it has to do with love. I mean, I've seen people who seem to be doing everything right, but they don't have any love in it. They're just going through the motions, like taking an exam. But if there's love there, like that disciple Horace Gray, Master said he's nearly fully liberated because Divine Mother's pleased with his devotion, not his kriyas, not he had higher kriya. And he was serving. He served the end of his life just pulling weeds out of the garden. He couldn't even walk anymore. He couldn't even stand up. He did it out of love. I think people miss the point. God is love. We open ourselves, we feel more and more. You could hear in Swamiji's voice there, and he was reading that from Autobiography, how much love just reading about their meeting. So what I felt most from Swamiji, in fact, was love. Why did I stay at Ananda? Love. And so I think people miss the point and think it's analytical, and it's when your heart is open, you just follow. And when you follow and you make progress, it's not so much even discipline. Why do we do things that we enjoy? Because we love them. You see, why would a person sing? Why would I practice every day? I meditate every day. I practice musical instruments. Why? I love it. Why do I go into my meditation room? I love it. It's not written down, go at this time, you have to do this, you have to do this. I love it. Learn to love it. And if you get in with the rest of the group and get in the satsang, you'll feel there's a power there. And if you have less love, somebody else might have more, and it'll rub off on you. And if you go to the kirtan, you're chanting and you feel so much devotion that you feel more love. And if you get a harmonium and start learning how to chant, then you get, more open in your heart. Remember what Master told Swamiji, you got to get devotion. And Swamiji got a harmonium, he started chanting. He was very intellectual, but he was the most balanced person I ever met. Head and heart completely in balance. So I think whatever you're at, you have to, Swami Sri Teswarji said, you can't take one step on the spiritual path without love. And he was a Jnana yogi. So there you have it. I think the answer is open your heart, chanting, coming around, being with others, serving. Get out of what you think you know. You don't know anything. How do we think we know something? And anything could happen at any time. You could be taken away today. So I would say just have your heart open and just say, Master, Divine Mother, what you want, I want. What you want me to do, I'm going to do it. And I think people just get childish and they're upset about this and worried. And I would say grow up. Become more mature spiritually. Okay, thanks.
And we have two more questions. The first one is, I feel Master talks with me directly and I don't feel the need to ask anyone's advice on what he tells me. So is that advisable and okay?
I'd say that's a trap. I've seen people who've said that, and I don't see them around anymore. So I think if I would get advice, if you really feel Master's talking to you, still, I would get advice from someone you respect. As Swamiji said, the picture is always smiling of Master. You take that smile, he's agreeing with me. Or I heard a voice and he said yes. How is your intuition so strong? I mean, even Swamiji said he didn't trust his. Wow. I mean, he would ask different ones, people at Ananda, what do you think about this side? What do you think about this? He never said, no, I'm 100%. I know exactly what I'm doing. Don't ask me, follow me. Never. I never heard that. And so I think you're going to fall into a big trap and you won't be able to get out easily. If you're saying your intuition is 100%, I would rethink that. I mean, I've been on the path a long time and I would never say that. I ask people all the time. When I moved to Mumbai, I asked 10 people, the global spiritual directors and 8 other peers. And in my heart, I felt Master saying, but I wasn't going to go there saying, he told me to go. It's tricky. Be careful.
Thank you, Dhyana. One last question. So how would I know that I am in tune with Master or not? I mean, do I get any specific signs, maybe a feeling in the heart or inner joy?
Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. I mean, look at St. Anthony. He was tortured But Christ said, I was with you all the time. What do you do with that one? I mean, Satan broke the tomb, was breaking the tomb. Then Christ appeared. And Anthony asked him, how come you didn't come before? And he said, I was always there. So it's not an easy answer. Yes, you're going to feel like there's rose petals all the time falling down upon you, and you're going to weep with joy. And sometimes you're getting disciplined. Is Master not with you then? That's the thing. Nobody wants to discipline. They just want, the glamour and glory. I haven't seen any glamour and glory, but I have felt Master in strength, getting stronger through tests. Is he not with you in a test? No. So people are looking for something that's not realistic. The guru's there to bring you out of delusion, not, as Swamiji would say, if you're in a mud puddle, he's going to take you out. He's not going to fix up the mud puddle. So I think just whatever comes, just say, I know you're with me, Master. In any moment of the day, I know you're with me. You affirm it, even if you don't feel it. And you get it going through a test. Thank you. I know you're helping me. I know you're taking most of the test away. So here again, I would say, the path is for spiritual warriors. You got to want to get out of delusion. You can't want Master to fix up your delusions. I've never found that never, ever found it happen. He strengthened me to go through and get out of the delusion myself. But he never, and Swamiji never pampered you. You poor thing, let me pat you on the back. I never got that, ever once. But I did get out of delusion from getting stronger myself. God bless you all. Happy Guru Purnima, and thank you, Natendra. Bye-bye.